Smooth Jazz 101, Smooth Jazz 100. Present Sunday Conversations. Every Sunday at 11. Join us for an engaging journey of entrepreneurial discovery.
Hi, this is Dr. Hildiah Martin-Suggs, the founder, the CEO, and the president of the organization Almost Lost in the System Incorporated, where we mold youth into leaders. Join me this Sunday at 11 on Sunday Conversations with Ashley Scott on Smooth Jazz 101, Smooth Jazz 100.
I'm Ashley Scott, your host. Join us as we introduce you to another outstanding rice stakeholder this Sunday at 11 a.m. on Sunday Conversations. Smooth Jazz 101, Smooth Jazz 100. I'm your host, Ashley Scott, with the Russell Innovation Center for Entrepreneurs. And today I am here with Miss Hildiah Martin-Suggs. Thank you so much for being my guest.
Thank you for having me.
Now tell us about Almost Lost in the System. How did you get into this journey of helping our young men to be diverted from criminal justice institutions and just all the things that, you know, we can see young people have to deal with in today's modern world and how it is? How did you get involved?
Okay, so prior to transitioning into the criminal justice and the civil rights field, I was in the beauty industry and the performing arts industry for over 20-something years. So this was a kind of new path for me. So my son was 14 years at the time in 2016, and law enforcement at the time charged him with a rape that he didn't commit, and he was facing multiple life sentences. He would have gotten up to 75 years if convicted as an adult. So that's when I knew at the moment, not just as a mom, I had to become his advocate, not just his advocate, even though his attorney without a bar number. So I had, and his investigator as well. So at that moment, immediately, I just gave up all of my dreams, my passions, and everything for the industry, because I was in the industry since 7 years old. And I just changed my entire life, gave my life to God and everything to save my son from a life sentence.
Oh, my goodness. So what did you find on this journey? How did you create a career out of being an advocate for young people? What was it like to go from helping your child to helping others?
Okay, so I've always been a youth advocate, but what made it more extreme when my son became incarcerated at 14 years old and going to visit him every weekend at the youth detention centers for juvenile justice in the state of Georgia. I met a lot of families. So because he's a boy, of course, I was seeing so many youth boys, 12 years old, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, wrong place at the wrong time, just as my son was, who was facing life sentences for the most serious violent crimes, you know, Georgia's 7 deadly sins, the SB 440 and the SB 441. And that's for like rape, murder, aggravated child molestation, aggravated sodomy, aggravated sexual battery, and also voluntary manslaughter. Those crimes right there are whole life sentences, where it's mandatory 10 to the door, where it goes to SB 441. And so even if you didn't commit the crime and you were at the place and you didn't call law enforcement, you don't know law, now you a conspiracy. So most of the youth boys was facing like conspiracies because they don't know, they afraid or a part of a gang or anything. Or my son circumstance worked at the wrong place at the wrong time and got involved in something. So with that being said, that's when I immediately started advocating with other families, and as I'm learning and going to the law library every day and educating myself and connecting with major organizations like Clippers and Cobbs, the NAACP and everything. So I started immediately becoming a community advocate, a male advocate, youth advocate, meaning I love the girls and the women, but then it was like it was more of a need of our male species that need an actual advocate, because everything is handed. You know this, we women, it's handed to us. Nothing is really handed to the male. So I immediately became a male advocate, a youth advocate, criminal justice, and civil rights leader.
Wow. So what does that look like for you? Like, how do you make a business? Because, you know, we here at the Russell Innovation Center for Entrepreneurs. So this is a heavy thing that's got a lot of impact, a lot of purpose. And I know there's probably a lot of mothers and a lot of folks out here in the world who might have experienced similar injustices, similar wrong time, wrong place, things that their child might have gotten caught up in. How did you make a business out of this?
So when I seen that it worked for my son, I actually wrote an entire proposition. And I told other organizations and my son during a prison visit, I said, the same prosecutor that prosecuted you and that helped me disposition your case, which is the former Gwinnett County District Attorney, Daniel J. Porter. He go by Danny Porter. I said, I'm going to present this to him. So organizations and other leaders was like, oh, Hildiah, he's not going to accept that. Your son have a case in that office. That's not going to work. That's bull crap. He's never going to listen to you. And so my first murder case, it was a youth who, because my son was a youth leader in the prison, one of the top youth leaders, and his mom reached out to me, and her son was facing a kind of life sentence for murder and some other charges. And I said, okay, well, give me a copy of his full discovery and I'll review it. So I reviewed it over and over and over again. It took me like a week, and he had a big discovery. I said, okay, I called Danny Porter, of course, and I was talking to him because he was still helping me with my son, like his prison transfer and everything, and we built a rapport immediately, and we good friends now. Mm-hmm. And so I said, I have a murder case. He said, okay, so now you going into murder cases? I said, well, I'm specializing in the Georgia 7 deadly sins. And I said, and I want to present this case to you. I didn't even tell him I was going to present my second chance program that I created in my mind and kind of wrote it briefly on the paper, right? Mm-hmm. So as we and I were meeting and I'm presenting my first murder case, he was like, wow, you good at what you do. And then, Clippers and Cops, the founder and a co-founder, they helped me go through the detective academy. They prepared me, they prepped me, they talked to me every day, they educated me. Oh my God, it was just so amazing. I was just getting involved in all of the community forums to just educate myself, taking all of the classes that I could take and everything, the NAACP, taking their leadership classes. So when Yahweh was preparing me to present this to one of the top prosecutors in this state, he tried a murder case without the body. One of the top. So with that being said, I'm like, I wasn't afraid. I was confident. Me and my kids had just prayed. I had just had a visit with my son that Sunday. I met up with Danny Porter. I presented the case, and he accepted what I dispositioned on this case. I'm not going to go into detail. And I said, I got something else for you. He said, oh, God, Hildiah, what do you have now? I said, I want to present something to you. Can you just read it? And so he read it. And I'm like, okay, God, this is time. He said, you're brilliant. I think this is a brilliant idea. He said, I don't know how I'm going to present this to the judges and other prosecutors because this is something defense do. It's never been done in a prosecuting office. And he was like, and I've been prosecuting longer than you were born, and that's true. And he's like, I've been doing this for over 40 years. He was like, this never ever happened in no prosecuting office, and not even just in the state of Georgia, but in the United States. And then I'm not post-certified. So I'm like the first investigator at the time working in any DA office that don't have a post-certification. Everybody else is law enforcement. And so when I presented to him, he was like, oh my God, this is huge. He said, I have to come up with the funding. I said, I don't even want you to pay me. He said, no, you're going to have to get paid for your work. You don't know, it's some serious cases, and that's not about to happen. So let me talk to my team. Let me talk to the other prosecutors in the office. Let me talk to the judges in Gwinnett County, and I'll get back with you. He kept his word. He got back with me. Then Channel 2 wanted to sit down with us. We sat down with Michael Seiden, and then Michael Seiden took it back. They reviewed it, and they like, we need another interview. So now we have another interview. Next thing you know, the second interview, I done made history. I'm on the news January 8, 2020 for being the first youth mitigation investigator to ever work in a district attorney's office specializing in the Senate Bill 440 and the Senate Bill 441 for youth 13 to 17 years old facing life sentences as adults.
Oh, wow. Now, that's a heck of a story. I'm reminded right now that, like, rapport and building relationships, it makes all the difference. The people who can go into a room and be able to open doors and create opportunities that might not have ever even been done before is because of that rapport. So I just wanted to pull that nugget out. Now, you have a book coming out.
Yes.
Talk a little bit about the book.
It took me some time to get, it's a series of it. So this is the first edition.
Okay.
And it took me some time because, of course, almost 3 years ago, I was hit by an 18-wheeler that almost killed me. So I was like, I'm never going to get this book done. So the name of the book is What to Know When Facing Life in Prison as an Adult. Obtain knowledge of an expert youth mitigation specialist. And I want everybody to actually purchase the book. This book, I wrote it, and it's not to give y'all legal advice. It's to educate y'all so you can learn and equip. Okay, I know you don't have a bar number. I know judges only listen to, investigators or attorneys with a bar number. But at least, even if you have an incompetent or even a competent attorney, whether it's from prosecution or defense standpoint, this book is a tool for you to have with you and educate. And I just briefly discuss some of the laws, your rights, and I pick specific. We know it's 27 constitutional rights, right? But I pick a specific that I know that many people have faced since I've been in this industry for 10 years. Like your First Amendment, of course, your Fourth Amendment, your Fifth Amendment, your Eighth Amendment. And so I go into detail on those amendments so you can be educated on it, so you can know your rights. I talk about habeas corpus petition. I talk about my second chance program, the youth mitigation program. Everybody for years been wanting to know, what is the detail of this program you created? How is it so historical? What make it historical? What make you so different? Okay, you said you made history. So now I briefly touch base on a program in my book, and also I give brief details of what prosecution and the state judges, who is the last final prosecution discretion of a case when you facing any charges of a mitigation binder. And so I breaks it down in this book, how you prepare a mitigation binder and what it should include. And then some people, when they look at it, they be like, okay, it's a portfolio. But no, it's more in depth, because you have to have your full discovery. You have to have a letter of recommendation. It's more phases after that too that I didn't add in there, of course. So if you need more assistance, or I may get into detail more in the second edition, but I just wanted to start with the basic in the first edition, and I didn't want to overwhelm the readers. So I wanted to just get to that point so they can actually know, because this is what people don't know, and it's not to go against defense. Defense would do the bare minimum. And the bare minimum on a life sentence is 10 years to the door. You have to do 10 years before they even look at you for eligible for parole. Okay, that's just one side of that, because Department of Corrections have their own prison reform where they take that off of you. If you doing good, you get the eligible pick. So I talk about good behavior in there while you incarcerated. If you have the good behavior, don't feel like your whole life is messed up because you got to do 20 to the door, 15 to the door, 10 to the door. Because if you have good behavior, they will take that off, and it's called eligible pick, and you will be out sooner than the time that you did, because it's about reforming. So basically, that's just a brief with that. I talk about witnesses. I talk about evidence, and people need to know that, because what's the first thing people say? You snitched on me, or this and that. No, you need to know law enforcement already know what happened. They just want to see if you're going to lie to them.
Okay.
And I know this because I have cases.
Right.
And I work right in the DA office. So it's like, it ain't, nobody is snitching. They already know. And on some cases, they don't know.
Okay.
And they building the case. That's true. Okay? So I talk about, and I give a brief in my introduction where I talk about my story a little bit. So I dropped some gems in there. I talked about some stuff that the public don't know about me. Okay. And it was right before my son got into his situation. And then I have like acknowledgments in there, of course, a letter that I wrote to God and a letter to the youth and my 3 sons and other dedications and everything. So it's a really good book, and I'll talk about how you need to be complacent, humble, just everything, just the whole due process and criminal procedures, the laws, the rights, just everything is in this book that'll help you to get you through that and guide you.
Well, Hildiah, what you have shared today is so much information that's very valuable, and there's no way we can do this all in just one interview. So we're going to go ahead and break this into a 2-parter, and we're going to come back next week and talk more about how you are helping people who are almost lost in the system. We'll see you again next week on Sunday Conversations, where I will interview Hildiah Martin-Suggs, talking about how she is making an impact in the criminal justice system right here in Atlanta and across the state of Georgia. See you next week on Sunday Conversations on Smooth Jazz 101, Smooth Jazz 100.
Tune in. Sunday Conversations is a presentation of Davis Broadcasting, Inc. in cooperation with Russell Innovation Center for Entrepreneurs, a 501c3 nonprofit organization.
And we are back for our second part of our interview with Miss Hildiah Martin-Suggs of Almost Lost in the System. She is an author, she is an advocate, and we are here to talk more today about her book, her upcoming event, and how she has been helping justice-impacted young people and really creating leadership with young men so that they don't have to experience what could possibly happen when they are being up against criminal justice issues. So let's get back into this, Hildiah. How many people are impacted? Like, how many youth are in justice involved and impacted with these kinds of cases where they might be facing life in jail? Like, are you dealing with hundreds of cases, thousands of cases here in the state of Georgia? What's been your experience about how many people are being impacted by this?
So it's hundreds to thousands. And so this is what I do want you to know. One of my board of directors, she's actually over 10 prisons for Department of Juvenile Justice. And so with that taken into circumstance, Metro alone has 100 youth boys. That's just Metro alone. And then Rockdale RYDC, because I donated to them a lot. I added them to where they were taking care of them for monthly, like they were my children. It was about maybe 42 youth boys. So if you go into all of the prisons with Department of Juvenile Justice, it's hundreds to thousands, that's facing life sentences. Most of them is gang members where they join the gang and they don't understand some of the initiation. It's kind of different. They homeless, they don't have family, or they family sick and all of that. So some of them will commit crimes and go back to where they feel like prison is home with them. So I can't even do a number. So I just started thinking about numbers this year when Black Voters Matter hired my corporate attorneys to do my 501c3 1023 status. Mm-hmm. And they asked me questions. I said, I never sat down and thought about how many people I helped, because I don't think about it.
Right.
You just come to me, I help you. And I had to really sit, and I said, oh my God, I helped a lot of families. Where normally I would charge $10,000 per case. Mm-hmm. I've been doing it pro bono. Mm-hmm. Because they can't afford it.
Right.
It's the less fortunate. Those are the ones. With my son case, I would have paid $100,000. Mm-hmm. I paid $30,000. And the only reason I paid $30,000, even though I was the investigator on the case, but I don't have a bar number, I couldn't present his case. He would have had to present it sovereign himself, and he was not competent to do that.
Right.
So I had to hire 3 different attorneys from the NAACP, and they charged me $10,000 each because I was an NAACP member. Mm-hmm. So think if I wasn't an NAACP member, $90,000 to $100,000 for a rape that he didn't commit.
My goodness.
And then the rape turned from rape to attempt rape. That was still a life sentence. So now I'm still fighting.
So what is it you want people to know about why they should buy the book?
Because you have to, even if you retain an attorney, you have to obtain knowledge. You have to, education is key. People don't understand how important that is. My mama used to say that to me all the time. And I'd be like, oh my gosh, you're getting on my nerves. But I was an A student. You know, sometimes B, but A. But even in college, I was on the dean list. But I'm just like, you have to educate yourself. It's very important. I never thought that I will be in a position I'm in today or experience what I experienced. And I even talk about in the book that it may make y'all emotional, you know, because it made my kids emotional when I read it to them and my husband. So that was my first listeners and readers. And I talk about what I experienced, and I was to the core with it. Yeah. So if you descriptive or however visual person or photograph it, or whenever somebody talking to you, you can kind of visualize what they been through or going through. I actually stated how me and my son was feeling that I've never revealed to the community, but I'm revealing in this book.
How do people get the book?
You can go through our website, www.almostlostinthesystem.org, or on Amazon.com. It's been sold in 3 formats. Okay. It's been sold in ebook, hardcover, and paperback. And it's globally in multiple languages.
Okay, now.
So it's all over the world in multiple languages. It will be on Barnes & Noble soon, January 1st. I'm working on that now with Barnes & Noble, so they just approved me to do it. So we get that together now to be sold on their platform. And also on Unique Euphony website, it should be up on there as well.
Okay. So how do people get in touch with you if they are in a process, if they're experiencing, you know, a child that might be almost lost in the system? How do they connect with you? How do they get support? How do they hire you as an investigator?
Okay, and I want to state this too. Yes, I am a youth mitigation specialist, but I am a mitigation specialist. So I help adults too. We help adults as well. We help girls and women too. So even if you heard me say that we're male advocates or I'm a male advocate, I do not turn girls and women away. I love y'all. So I would never do that. I was a girl before and I'm a woman now. So I'm never going to leave that female species behind. So if you reach out to our website, www.almostlostinthesystem.org, and send a message through our chat bot. It comes to us, the leadership team, multiple ways. So we get the messages, you send it through there, your name, your contact number, and just a brief description of what you're experiencing, and we will get back with you. You have to come through the intake process, but we don't take every case. And we just launched our prison reform department. So anyone that feels like they're innocent and they've been upholding their innocence for 20-some years, 30 years, 10 years, we're taking those cases now. So we have several cases in this murder cases where people said they are innocent and they've been in prison for 27 years, 30 years, 10 years for a murder they didn't commit.
So this is heavy work that you do, Hildiah. How do you take care of yourself? How do you self-care? How do you keep your mental together?
I pray 3 times a day with my husband. We do our ministry, Peace and Blessings Ministries. So I'm a first lady. My husband is a prime minister. Praise Yahweh. I have to keep my hair done, my nails, and my makeup. And you know how some people say, oh, you wear makeup because you have to? That's what uplifts me, and that's why I was a makeup artist for so many years, especially for domestic violence women. I love to uplift, so that's what uplifts me, keeping myself up, hygiene, everything, and that's what keeps me going. Yahweh and keeping myself up.
All right now. So what made you, with all this success, you've helped so many young people and adults, like you said, men, not just men, but women as well, to really get their life back after being justice involved. What made you decide to become a member here, or excuse me, a stakeholder here at the Russell Innovation Center for Entrepreneurs?
Okay, so some of my former partners and current partners, they are stakeholders and one of the first founders, right? Mm-hmm. And also you. Mm-hmm. And so just being involved with you, Ashley, and many other stakeholders, and just the love, the spirit, and how y'all treat me, you wouldn't even seem like I wasn't a stakeholder.
Right.
So I'm like, when that opportunity came to me, I'm like, why not? Because the way y'all treat me, I could just come in whenever I get ready, support, y'all feed me good. I love to eat. And everything is great events, support. Oh my God, it's phenomenal.
Yes.
It's phenomenal.
Well, we're happy to have you here in the community here of our entrepreneurs. I'm really proud of the work that you're doing. I'm excited to read the book. I'm really excited you're having your book launch here at the Russell Center.
Yes, the January 8th celebration day, where Senator Tanya P. Anderson, she awarded me my own day.
All right now.
For my work ethics and my dedication.
So there is a Hildiah Martin-Suggs Day.
Dr. Hildiah Martin.
Dr. Hildiah Martin-Suggs Day. Got it. Okay.
January 8th. And it will be here at the Russell Innovation Center.
All right. January 8th. How do people almost lost in the system? Is that how they get their tickets, RSVP, so that they come?
Yes. So I have like a private celebration set up where you can go on the link. You can also go on the Facebook and find it. It's on partiful.com. Okay. But if you go to my Facebook page, it could be Almost Lost in the System Incorporated Facebook page, or it could be you may see Dr. Hildiah Martin-Suggs or Dr. First Lady. If you Google that or anything, you will go right to it. And then even though it says private celebration, it comes straight to me. Okay. So I approve everybody who actually RSVPs. So yes, RSVP, because once it start going up, because I just partnered with Georgia Tech with their entire college for their students.
Okay.
So I'm about to start hiring some of their students with the organization. So this week I will be at Georgia Tech to invite them. So once these students RSVP is over with, I can't let people in because I can only hold a certain amount of people at this party. Okay. So it's good to start RSVPing right now, because I'm thinking to about maybe 60 to 75 students.
Okay.
And so there are, and I have a
major save a few spots for our listeners and our stakeholders, if you don't mind.
Okay. Okay, but if you could share with the stakeholders.
Yes, I will. It's going to be in the newsletter. We send out a newsletter every Sunday.
So maybe I'll do 30.
We would love that.
Yeah, yes. So because I would want all of my fellow stakeholders, because I have y'all helping me get this event together and everything. I can't leave y'all out.
Well, we appreciate it, and we appreciate you.
We may be packed in here 300.
Well, no, we can't do that.
I know. I'm just. I'm being silly.
But thank you so much, Hildiah, for being my guest here and just sharing your insights around this system and how people can truly almost be lost in it, and that there are some mitigation tools and there are some strategies and there's knowledge that is available so that we can really know our rights, and that it is our duty to obtain that knowledge and not just be ignorant of the law. So thank you for creating this book. Thank you for the work that you're doing. Thank you for raising up the next generation of students to do this work. It's powerful and impactful, particularly for our community. So just thank you so much for being my guest today and for just being who you are.
Thank you so much for being who you are, and thank you for inviting me to be your guest today. And I just want to let the listeners know, if y'all go to the website, we have multiple departments. So behavioral health, mental health. We have a next generation lawyers committee where we have attorneys, some of the top attorneys on our committee, okay? We have like a bondsman committee. We have police reform, crime prevention. So we have business owners over the different committees. We have the next generation outreach. So we connected in so many major ways. You would have to go to our website or even go to our Facebook, social media, and all of that to kind of obtain what we're doing and everything. It's huge. So you just reach out to us through the website if you're interested. If you have youth girls, youth boys who want to play sports, we do all of that. We molding youth into leaders.
We molding youth into leaders. Thank you again. And thank you, listeners, for tuning into another Sunday Conversations. I'm Ashley Scott. And for more information on today's episode, click the Sunday Conversations tab at smoothjazzatl.com.